What is up, everybody? What is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome to episode 61 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. This is our extra special SummerSlam and NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 review show. Mm-hmm. We are a podcast, if you didn't know, about two brothers who used to work for WWE, and we like to talk about both wrestling and video games. As I scrape the mic with my 5 o'clock shadow, I'm sure everybody in the audio version enjoyed that. I am one of your hosts, Murpho.
I'm your other host, DMurph.
And we are here to talk about wrestling and video games. Actually, mostly going to be wrestling. Mostly wrestling this week. We said more video games this week. I actually realized we're bad at the video game part because we didn't research any video games this week.
No, I did some research.
Okay, you did some research. Okay.
A little bit, yeah, okay. Not much.
I know some things off the top of my head. I just didn't do my proper scanning through articles of news articles of the last week like I normally do. But we've got some stuff we can talk about video games. Yeah. But it's mostly going to be wrestling this week
because it's mostly one of the big four. So
yeah,
plus
which means that there's an NXT TakeOver attached to it, which means we got a lot of wrestling to talk about. And All-Ins next week, and there's one or two things we want to talk about maybe with regards to that.
Fun fact,
some news.
I just recently got 2 Bullet Club shirts. I got a Cody Rhodes shirt and a Young Bucks shirt, so expect me to be wearing one of those next week since All-In is a week from today.
Ah, nice. I'll bring my Kenny shirt. Maybe I'll bring my Kenny Pop with me too. I love the Kenny Pop.
You're gonna bring your Kenny Pop that's literally there.
Yeah, he's gonna.
How are you gonna?
No, bring him to All In if I watch All In.
Oh, I thought you were talking about for the show.
Because we were talking about going to watch All In at your place next week. Yeah. So I was thinking maybe I'll bring the Pop.
All right.
Sounds Probably good. Not, but just a thought.
Whatever you want to do.
Anyway, we're also going to be talking about what happened this week in wrestling because with WWE. After SummerSlam, because a fair amount of stuff happened. Like, honestly, I would say out of this entire week of wrestling, SummerSlam was actually probably the low point as far as WWE is concerned. Because Raw was pretty awesome. SmackDown was pretty awesome. I mean, NXT was, the show. It's basically the matches, the pre-show of TakeOver that they air. And then 205 Live was all right.
Yeah.
But Raw and SmackDown were really good this week.
Mm-hmm.
How often have we said that?
I think this may be like the second or third time since we started doing this.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that Raw and SmackDown are consistently bad. It's just both of them being really, really good in the same week has just been a rare occurrence.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But anyway, I want to say hi to Chelsea, who's in the chat, by the way.
Hello.
Talking it up. So what we're going to do here is, for those of you who don't know, we did predictions previously in the last podcast. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk over everything and go over the results. Then we're going to mention how many we each got right. And then we're going to mention which viewers who submitted their predictions on our Discord server and the viewer predictions channel. Pick out which ones beat either of us and who won overall. But first, we need to get to talking about the shows. So, would you like to get us started on this show called NXT TakeOver Brooklyn?
I guess so. I mean, the first match of the night with that was the...
It wasn't that good, right? Not great.
I mean, I would argue that it was pretty good.
No, it was pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong versus Mustache Mountain of Trent Seven and Tyler Bate. And it was so good, y'all. So good.
So good.
I think...
no, you go ahead and finish. I just thought I was just going to bring up my favorite part of the match, but you...
My favorite thing about the match, not favorite part, but thing, was Kyle O'Reilly selling throughout the entire match.
Kyle O'Reilly
is good at selling.
Yeah, he's so good at selling.
He's so good in general, but like the selling in that match was ridiculous.
He comes so close to being over the top, but not...
You know, it's one thing that he does that I wish more wrestlers would do that I absolutely love, and this is something that he did a lot in this match.
Mm-hmm.
They get hit really hard by a big move and are down for a pinfall. He lies there with his eyes closed and listens to the count and gets up just before 3, while a lot of other wrestlers, you could see them looking at the referee while lying there.
Well, to be fair, if you're thinking about it also in this from a wrestling psychology standpoint, if you get hit in the mat and maybe you want to rest or you want to make sure that you like can kick out before 3, you'll watch the ref's hand. So
True.
like it's not really that's the way I've always internalized it in my
No,
mind is it's more the wrestler like being like, okay, I'm not out cold, but I don't want to kick out at 1. So
No.
let me try and push for the kick out right at the last
I can
possible
understand
moment.
that, but I love how he's at, because he does that every now and then too. But getting towards the end of the matches, he'll get hit with big moves. Like he got hit with that burning hammer by Mustache Mountain, and he was laying there, eyes closed, 1, 2, looked like he was completely out, and then right before 3, kicked out.
That's just a veteran thing of just knowing the timing of a count and knowing when to put your shoulder up.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I think he was so good at it.
I can't believe they kicked out of that burning hammer.
I know.
As Cam says, who's in the chat, he says Kyle Bumped is so big for Trent 7, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
And that finish, like Trent got hit so hard with that high-low.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap. But my favorite part of the match was the reverse of the situation with 7 and Bate, where 7 was on the outside of the ring. Bate was in the grueling submission hold, and it looked like he refused to tap and he was going to get hurt. And so 7 went and got the towel and was debating throwing it in. And then as he was going to throw it in, just at the last moment, just changed the direction of his hand and threw it out of the...
Yeah,
and like him selling the emotion of not wanting to see Bate get hurt and the tease of what happened before. Like, that's just beautiful, perfect follow through on wrestling storytelling. It was
really good. Yeah, I also like the fact that Kyle O'Reilly was the one on on Undisputed Era that was getting beat up the most, more than Roderick Strong, and he was the one who got the pinfall. And it was a matter of they hit the high-low out of nowhere. He goes into the pinfall, and literally as soon as it's counted 3, he just lies there. Like,
he's
okay,
I got it. We're good. We're done.
I don't have to do anything. I could just lie here.
Yeah. By the way, let me say this real quick before we move on to the next match, and this doesn't have anything to do with this match, but I would just like to say that I was super, super wrong about everything pretty much for TakeOver.
It's okay. If it makes you feel better, I also got less than 50% right on TakeOver.
Yeah. I mean, this was, I think, the one match that I predicted right in the entire show.
Yep.
But the way I expected it to happen didn't happen at all.
Yep.
Like, I was so dead wrong about everything this show.
Yep.
So, but yeah, this was such a good match. I want to say that this might be like the match of the night, but there are three very, very strong candidates for match of the night. And even the matches that weren't match of the night, the other 2, I think were still really good matches.
Yeah. It's like there were 3 5-star matches and 2 4.8-star matches.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Well, I would probably give the other 2 matches maybe like 4 stars.
Yeah.
4 stars. Maybe one of them 3.5. But this and 2 of the other matches on the show were 4.5 to 5 stars in my opinion. If we were going to put star ratings on there, which let's not get started on that because then next thing you know, we'll start giving 5.5 and 6 and 7 stars to things.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll start fat shaming people.
Yeah. Oh, we said last week that we were gonna talk about that, so we got to make sure that we talk about that.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah. Moving on from the tag match, which was incredible. Undisputed Era was able to overcome and defeat Mustache Mountain and retain their titles. We got Velveteen Dream versus EC3,
There is one thing you forgot to mention.
What's that?
The War Raiders came out and destroyed Undisputed Era after the match.
That's right. And holy hell, was it? Yeah, it was Kyle O'Reilly.
Yep, taking the fall.
He
out.
went so goddamn high before he got power slammed
with the pop up into the power slam.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna like
die,
grab a hold of the rafters. He was tossed so high.
Yeah,
like Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Whew.
Yeah, I have a feeling we saw the team that's gonna beat Undisputed Era for the tag titles destroy Undisputed Era right after their last tag title defense.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. It's gonna be a good ass match.
Oh, I'm not denying that.
It's gonna be so good. But we'll see. Maybe they'll be the team that takes the titles from them. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they'll have a takeover match where like some tomfoolery happens and Undisputed Era by unsavory means retains the titles. That way they can keep this going until WrestleMania.
It's possible.
So awesome post-match shenanigans.
Yes.
No. Now moving on, we've got EC3 versus Velveteen Dream. Dream ended up defeating EC3, which I was shocked about.
Yeah,
I thought
same
sure EC3 was going to win because I felt Velveteen Dream had the stronger gimmick and was in NXT for longer, so he could afford to take the loss, whereas EC3 couldn't. However, looking back on it, there are now rumors saying that EC3 might just get moved up to the main roster soon. So if this was just a short NXT stint, it's not as surprising in retrospect that he took the loss.
True. And one thing I always find funny with EC3 is, what his answer was when someone asked him what his main goal was in WWE?
What?
I want to beat John Cena at WrestleMania. That's his main goal. So I guess it's the kind of thing of, well, if you want to do that, you better get going now before John's out the door.
So yeah. And it's ironic that EC3 might get called up because Velveteen Dream with the MVP tights of the weekend had it spray painted, airbrushed on his ass. It said, "Call me up, Vince." When I first saw that, I'm like, he did not. Nope, he did. He did. That's right there.
As soon as I saw that, I could just picture in my head Triple H in the back just being like, "Oh God, I mean, I'm not mad at him, but come on."
Oh man. Big stupid ass. Who's John Cena? He's this guy who actually, I don't know if you know this, he actually does show up to Raw and SmackDown every week. You just can't see him.
Yeah. It's like a Where's Waldo? Where's Cena?
It's not that he's gone off to Hollywood. He's just there. You just can't see him. Cam said that he thought the EC3 versus Dream match underdelivered, but I think that's because Aleister Black and Ricochet are very different opponents to EC3. I guess so. I think with this match, you got to know the competitors and know what you're getting yourselves into, because Velveteen Dream and EC3 are both very good character performers, and Velveteen is arguably maybe the slightly better wrestler than EC3. They're not known for their insane technical ability or bumping like a madman like Kyle O'Reilly, or doing these ridiculous like flips and jumps like Ricochet. They're both very athletic and they can both put on very good wrestling matches, which I thought this was. But like you have to set your expectations knowing that this is a match that will mainly be judged on its story and the characters who are competing in the match than pure wrestling insanity.
You know what I think was the biggest issue with this match personally? When I think back about it, I feel like one of the issues with this match is one of the big things about EC3 is he's a big, strong guy. He could throw guys around. But this match, it seemed like Velveteen had the majority of the offense for a large part of the match. Like, I can only think of a couple moves that EC3 did in the match. Like, I know he did his whole headlock into slamming the guy down on the mat thing, like the reverse DDT kind of thing.
Headlock driver.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Not a headlock driver. It's like he's got him in a headlock, and instead of bringing it, like he's got him in a headlock for a DDT and just throws them backwards so they back bump.
Oh, okay. So
like he did
like a side Russian sweep.
Yeah, I forget the name.
Somebody did a headlock driver this weekend. I just can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I think it may have been EC3 later on in the match.
I thought it was EC3.
But those are like the two moves I remember EC3 doing, and I remember him setting up to hit his TKO finisher of the 1%, and what's his name? Dream got out of it. But EC3 didn't get much offense in this match, which is why I think it felt so odd, because he's the bigger guy and he was being dominated a good amount of the match.
Yeah. I don't know. I really didn't have many complaints. I was just shocked that Velveteen won. I did like how they set it up. So he won. Like, he basically hit his two biggest moves on the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. So it makes sense as to why that would lead to him actually being able to beat EC3.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, I mean, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I knew what I was like I said, with certain matches, when you know what wrestlers are and what their capabilities are and what they can do, and you set those expectations, then yeah, it's good. Like, if I go to say like Ricochet versus Adam Cole, which happened later on that night, like their storyline, it was okay, but it wasn't very character based. It was more of just like, you're not special. No, I am special. Look at all these special things I can do, and I'm going to show you with all the special things I can do in the ring how special I am. So you're going to expect to see crazy, ridiculous wrestling. With Velveteen Dream and EC3, it was more two ego-driven guys who are just complete characters.
Yeah.
And it's more of a watch these two really, really interesting dudes do things with their characters and just be more character based. I don't know. Like I'm not expecting a wrestling like masterpiece from EC3 and Velveteen Dream. I'm expecting a very good wrestling match where the lead up is what helps push the wrestling. The story and the characters are what help push the wrestling, and they add to the wrestling. Whereas with Ricochet and Adam Cole, like, they're wrestlers. They don't have characters. They're just really good wrestlers. So what am I going to do? Expect them to be really good at wrestling.
I take a little offense to that because I think Adam Cole is an amazing character. But anyway.
I mean, he has a good character. But, like, when I say character, like, I'm saying guys like Dream, which is, like, a woken Matt Hardy, a demon Kane. Like, not like I'm Adam Cole and I am Adam Cole and my personality, my character is just being Adam Cole, like a person. I'm thinking more of along the lines of like, oh, this person is like Prince, or this person is a nut job, or this person is a fire demon who somehow like survived getting burned alive while his parents died.
And
like
now he's a mayor.
Yeah.
But anyway, since you're talking about Adam Cole so much, we should probably talk about Adam Cole versus Ricochet for the North American Championship.
Sure, why don't you talk about Adam Cole versus Ricochet? This might be, I just want to say before I let you speak, this might be my match of the night. I think this might have been my favorite match of the night.
I agree. And it was so good. Part of the reason I loved it is because this match was so even. And Adam Cole hit Ricochet with moves like that brainbuster onto the knee that he's beaten people with before. He's beaten Cassius Ohno with that, and Ricochet was kicking out, and the look on Adam Cole's face of like, how can this be? And with the whole storyline being, you're not special, makes it that much better of a match. Mm-hmm. Not to mention all the jumpy, flippy things that Ricochet was doing.
Yeah.
And as Big Stupid's pointing out, that I was about to point out, that super kick.
Flippin' super kick. You know how like sometimes we watch stuff, I like to mark out like a 15-year-old.
Yep.
That was one of those moments.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting in this chair right over here by my desk watching it back the morning after, because I was with my girlfriend's family the night before, so I couldn't watch TakeOver live. But I was sitting there watching it, and that happened. I literally jumped out of my chair and like squealed like a child. Mm-hmm. Like that was so perfectly, beautifully gross and disgusting. That's probably my favorite spot like in a while. Mm-hmm. Definitely spot of the weekend.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. It was so good. The match was good, and I think the result is exactly what NXT needed.
Yeah,
because I love Adam Cole. I loved him being North American champion, but you look at it, he had several title defenses. He was the first ever champion.
Yeah, I just thought
he's got everything with Undisputed Era going on, and now he can move on to bigger and better things, because who knows, now maybe they could try and find some way for Adam Cole to try and weasel his way into the NXT title picture. Maybe not be like a one-on-one match or something, but be involved in the story before they eventually get moved up.
He could. I honestly thought they were going to hold off on pushing him for the NXT championship until after the next takeover, so I thought he was going to get another, like, I guess you could say takeover cycle or rotation or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Takeover period where he was still going to have the North American Championship. I thought it was just a little too early for him to give it up and for Ricochet to take it, but I'm not upset with the result. I kind of just wanted to see Adam Cole hold it longer. It's just not what I expected. And this, Adam Cole is Adam Cole. He's going to go up to the NXT Championship now. Maybe he'll have a rematch with Ricochet and lose the rematch.
Yeah, the only other...
So he's going to be fine.
The only other thing I could see is I'm putting him in some kind of good feud, like some bigger name feud, until he goes up to the main roster.
Yeah.
With the rest of Undisputed Era eventually.
Because with the result of what happened in the main event, it's like kind of almost awkward to put Adam Cole in there, who's almost like an NWO-esque type of
Character.
like archetype when it comes to like a heel, where it's like, yeah, he's a jerk and a heel, but he's so goddamn cool while he does it that you can't help but cheer him.
Yeah, exactly.
So like it's interesting to see how he could fit in given who the current NXT champion is after this weekend.
Which after the next match, I kind of knew that's what the result was going to be, and that I was wrong.
Yeah. So I just want to get back into the chat real quick before we move on. Well, actually, we also need to talk about another spot at the end that popped into my head. Big Stupid, again, as we acknowledged, that kick by Cole, he said. Cam said, as we're talking about Adam Cole and just how good he is, he says, this match made me change my opinion on Adam Cole because I've never been all that into him, but this match was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was. And it's also the kind of match where both of the guys are the reason for it. It's not like it was just one guy.
No one guy carried that match. Yeah. They both
it was
absolutely
a team effort, and it was amazing.
And Big Stupid said after Ricochet kicked out of the sequence with the super kick, he knew that Ricochet was going to win.
Oh, I knew Ricochet was going to win from the beginning because, like I said, I imagined where it was going to be. Like, when they first announced that they were going to do the North American Championship and the six-man ladder match, I looked and I went, okay, Adam Cole's going to win the ladder match. Somewhere down the line, he's going to lose the title to Ricochet. And then I don't know if and I kind of figured that at that point they might be doing something like EC3 going for the NXT Championship around the same time, but that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just right away, okay, they're going to do Adam Cole win the title. They're going to do some kind of storyline between Ricochet and Velveteen Dream because they could have an amazing storyline, and it'll help get Ricochet over to help build for him versus Adam Cole for the North American Championship at some point, and Ricochet is going to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
That's just been what my focus on it has been since that day, so I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. And before we move on to this, can we talk about how insane that Hurricane Rana for the finish was? That was a spot I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, jumping over the top rope and Hurricane Rana.
Okay, what are they going to do here? Cole's going to maybe get in and Ricochet, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yep.
He jumped and cleared the top rope and hit a Hurricane Rana and flung Cole outside the ring.
Yeah, it was insane.
Holy crap. And then pulled him inside and hit what was it? It was a 630 finisher, right? Yeah. Because somebody was, I can't remember where I was saying, some people were like, oh, and he hit like the 450 times 2. I think it's a 900. I'm like, nobody can pull off a 900. That had to have been a 630. If I remember, it was a 630.
It was.
So yeah, I just wanted to just mention that because that was also jaw dropping. That jump over the top rope and hit the Hurricane Rana. Then moving on from that, we had Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane, and Kairi Sane surprisingly won the match, but I am perfectly fine with how it was done. It was done perfectly.
You know what I have to say about that match?
Perfection. What?
That's such a tiny wheel. She's not a real pirate.
I think it's a character. I don't think she's really a pirate.
Well, maybe someone should explain that to Ronda then.
Oh, God.
What, you didn't catch that?
No, I didn't.
Ronda Rousey said that to the camera in the middle of the match. They panned over to them, and she can't just bring that wheel from the ship. It's so tiny. She's not a real pirate. And then they cut back to the action.
Jesus Christ.
And then a lot of people started tweeting at her online, being like, well, of course she's got it with her. If she didn't bring the wheel with her, someone would steal her ship, Rhonda.
You know, they don't make those old clubs for, for ships.
Yeah, they don't
make I'm talking about
the steering wheel lock.
The steering wheel lock club. Big Stupid thought that was hilarious. Cam wants to say Shayna was so good in that match. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, Shayna was really good in that match. And you know who else was really good in that match? Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane was good. But I loved Shayna in this match. Just
that stuff she was doing was gross.
Yeah, when she targets a body part and manipulates it, it is so disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
You know what I love, though? I was watching carefully, and with watching how she was doing it, with how she was actually doing it, paying attention, it actually wasn't that gross. It's just the way she positioned her body made it look a lot grosser. Like, she made it look like she was pinning Kairi's leg down with her knee so that way it couldn't move, and then bending and twisting it that way, when really Kairi's thigh was going underneath her ankle and was free to move. So when she was doing that, Kairi's entire leg was moving, but she made it look like it was just the lower half of her leg. And I had to say, that's one of the things that I love about Shana, is that she is able to position her body to do things like that, to make things look a lot worse than they actually are.
Yeah. Yeah, just nice little like almost like magic type tricks, like, for wrestling.
That's why they call her the submission magician.
Yes. Donuts and Drums, we're gonna jump back real quick. He thought that Cole and Ricochet stole the show.
Oh yeah.
We agree with that. Like I said, I think that was probably the best match of the night. I would like to say that the opener, the tag title match, and the main event, which he says was a close second, were both close seconds. So, but yeah. Anyway, back to Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. The one thing I loved most about this match, like I said when we first started talking about this, was the way that the match ended.
Yeah.
It was perfect because Sane goes for the elbow.
For the third time.
Baszler blocks it and then locks in.
Goes to lock in the Karabuta
clutch. And Sane, with just the wherewithal, because it's perfect. It's like, I've been locked in this before. I have such a hard time getting out of it. Nobody can get out of it. It was almost as if Sane instinctually was like, my only chance is to roll back on my head and hope that Shayna doesn't realize she's getting counted for the 3.
Yeah.
And she didn't, and it ended. And Baszler, the second the 3 got counted, was just in shock.
Yeah, in shock and then furious.
Mm-hmm.
There is one thing that I did have an issue with this match. Only one thing. Mm-hmm. And that was, as we mentioned, Shayna was doing all that work on Kairi's leg. A lot of work to Kairi's leg. Twisting it in all kinds of directions, tying it up in the ropes, kicking it repeatedly, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as that sequence was over, Kairi didn't sell the leg that much.
Really?
Yeah, I remember I was watching it and they did a couple spots of her running, and the only thing that she did is at one point she slapped her leg to try and get feeling back in it, and then after running across the ring several times, there's one point where she went to do her stomping across the ring and was dragging her leg behind her like limping, but then immediately ran to the corner as if there was nothing wrong with the leg.
I mean, part of that is also wrestling.
No, I understand.
Because some wrestlers, they'll sell an injured leg, and then they'll run a rope sequence or run from corner to corner like it's perfectly fine.
Well, what I mean is,
then they'll sell it after the fact, after they hit the maneuver. Yeah. So I don't know if Sane did that.
It was just weird to me because it was like she was in all those holds, gets out, runs around, then sells it for 5 seconds, then is running all over the place again, climbing on the top rope, and barely acting like it even bothers her at all at that point.
Yeah.
It was just kind of weird where it was no selling, stop to sell a little bit, and then no selling again.
I guess.
And it was just...
Cam says that Rollins always does the same thing. Donuts and Drums says that they're pushing Kairi, saying like they did Asuka, which he feels could be overdone. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that they're pushing her like Asuka.
No, they're not.
Because Asuka was undefeated for a long time, and she was made to almost look like a Shayna Baszler type character. If anything, I'd say Shayna Baszler has been given the Asuka push, except her dominance is more through submission and joint manipulation, whereas Asuka would just beat the crap out of you.
And then finish you off with a submission, and if you didn't tap out, you'd pass out.
Yeah, so, and whereas Kairi Sane has been more built kind of like an underdog babyface character than just a powerhouse who's just gonna run through everyone.
Yeah.
So they're kind of getting different pushes. Because Sane also, she hadn't been the focal point. She won the Mae Young Classic, and then she lost to Shayna Baszler going for the NXT Championship when they were both trying to compete for the number 1 contender spot, and then she kind of fell in the back.
Even before that, as soon as she won the Mae Young Classic, they announced that she'd be in a match for the NXT Women's Championship, and it was in a fatal 4-way with Peyton Royce, Nikki Cross, and Ember Moon, and she lost that, and then she wasn't doing anything for a while. Then they did that thing with Shayna, and she lost, and then she was kind of on the back burner for a while again.
Yeah. And then they didn't start building her up again until about 6 months ago. So I would have to disagree. I don't think she's being built like Asuka, but maybe if they turn around and she just starts beating everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe Donuts and Drums will be right, and we'll be able to correct ourselves.
I do want to point out though that I do love because I don't think I've mentioned this before. Shayna's little saying about with her when she locks on the Karafuda clutch.
What's that?
You either tap, nap, or snap.
I like that.
Yeah, That's really great. Like that. Yeah.
Put that on T-shirts and sell it.
As soon as she goes to the main roster, I'm guessing.
Yep, which should be soon because people are rumoring that because she lost the title that she's going to like get moved up along with EC3 very soon.
I could see her versus either Charlotte or Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's title at Evolution.
Maybe.
Not saying it's definite, but I'm saying I could see that.
Well, I know that they might just bring her on as a Raw competitor, so that way she can work with Ronda. Because I still think that there's rumors that they want to do a horsewomen versus horsewomen for Survivor Series or somewhere down the line.
Okay.
So they might try to plant the seeds in that by having Baszler on the same show as Ronda.
That's true. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Let's move on to the main event of the night: Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano, last man standing match for the NXT Championship. Compared to their last couple matches, I would say that this probably, I don't think this what's the word I'm looking for? Not matched up, but like I don't think it met the bar that was set by the last two, but the last two set the bar so goddamn high that it's borderline impossible to expect them to match it or surpass it. But it was still really, really good match. These two do not have bad matches against one another.
Yeah, exactly. That freaking knee with the chair through the barricade and then piling all the stuff on Gargano.
I thought that was it. I thought that was the end of the match,
same.
to be honest with you.
That match was so good.
So we'll see. I don't know why I just said so we'll see. I think I just lost my train of thought there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that spot was so good. I also loved that they harkened back to the DDT on the hardwood when they had Gargano do that to Ciampa.
Mm-hmm.
It was gross that Ciampa actually took that bump going through the upside down table, stacked on top of another table.
Yep.
Because I saw that and I'm like, that is a gashed open. That's like a head gash just waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And luckily Ciampa did not suffer that.
Yeah, thankfully.
Match was really good. You could tell that those two hate each other. Gargano hit Ciampa so hard with a crutch that it exploded over his back.
Oh yeah.
Just really good. And I at first wasn't okay with the way that the match ended because I really wanted Gargano to win that match. But I guess I'm okay with it because the way that that it was getting talked about after the fact was basically it wasn't that Gargano was like out cold or beaten. It was the fact that his knee literally dislocated and gave out on him and he could not physically stand up despite the will and desire to do so.
And it was because of his own fault.
Yeah.
He could have won the match just by sitting there.
His anger and obsession over Ciampa, which has been there since he came back, got the better of him. And it wasn't Tommaso Ciampa that beat Johnny Gargano. It was Johnny Gargano that beat Johnny Gargano.
Because he had Ciampa there on his knees, begging, saying, "I'm sorry, Johnny, please don't do this." And he still went ahead to do what Ciampa did to him to put him out of action when Ciampa came back. When he hit him with the running knee on the stage and everything, doing the exact same thing, and hurt himself in doing it.
Yeah. And I will admit, I do love the fact, once they were selling the knee with Gargano, I saw what was going to happen. I knew what was going to happen once Gargano was selling the knee and trying to get up. I'm like, but it was still beautiful, the fact that Ciampa was on the edge of the stage and then just rolled to the point to where he was basically standing but almost unconscious.
Yeah, and it was
barely standing.
Partially thanks to the handcuffs that Johnny put on the railing that helped him stand up.
Unintended consequences. It's a wonderful thing. But Ciampa retained.
Yeah.
Gargano still without that NXT championship. I still want to see Gargano be crowned an NXT champion before he goes up to the main roster. So I do hope they do pull the trigger on him eventually.
Eventually, yeah. I do want to mention Big Stupid saying in the chat that he found it weird how fast they were to report his dislocated kneecap. And part of the reason for that is because of the fact that not long after the show went off the air, Triple H went on doing his Facebook Live thing, and he was mentioning how that's what the early reports say that they're thinking happened, and that's just how it went, and fed into the idea that it was with a dislocated knee or dislocated kneecap because of the fact that he said it on Facebook Live so soon after. So that's part of the reason why they were so quick to report on it, because Triple H just saw the way they did it and just ran with the ball with it.
Big Stupid also said that he's glad the Pipsqueak Gargano lost. # long live the Blackheart. Cam points out what we were basically saying about the ending of the match, where basically the hate between the two of them is bigger than the championship. So to Gargano, it was like, he knew the risk and he wanted the championship so bad, but he hated Ciampa for what he did to him even more and wanted to inflict that extra bit of punishment, which cost him the championship.
Which I always find funny in situations like that, because I look back on things like that, and me personally, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense storyline wise, but in like my situation, if I was like that, I would have been like, okay, he's trapped there. Hey, you, let me see that chair, and just wail on him while he's trapped there without risking hurting yourself and still beating on him.
Yeah, but then you don't get the desired result. That's wrestling. You need to have the story actually, do its thing. Cam said that this is funny. He liked when the logo came up at the credits, they went back to the camera focusing on Gargano, so it looked like he was scared of the logo and what it normally means at the end of the show. No, it's over, I lost.
Or, oh no, the show's ending, Ciampa's gonna get me again. Oh, man.
It was nice though that Choppa came out afterwards and then just raised the title on the top of the ramp.
Hi, Johnny. Hi. I don't know if you saw, but hi. And I like how the paramedics, when they saw Ciampa coming over, like, just get him out of here. He keeps trying to run after him. His knee is messed up. Get him out of here.
Leave. Go. You won the match. Leave. Get out of here.
Shoot.
Donuts and Drums has a question regarding Randy Orton. We'll get into that after we talk about his involvement in SummerSlam. We can talk about that.
Did he have any involvement?
Yes, he did.
I forget then.
Yeah.
I completely forgot.
It was really weird and awkward, and it was post match with Nakamura and Hardy.
I may have not been in the room for that then.
Yeah. Well, we're not done doing our predictions yet, Big Stupid, so we don't reveal the title thing until after the fact. So why don't you know your role and shut your mouth? That was harsh. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. You deserve it.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Hashtag and still.
So that was NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. Overall, what'd you think of the show?
I loved it.
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, same here.
Just, you can almost always rely on an NXT TakeOver to be freaking phenomenal.
Yep.
Amazing.
There's, like I said, with this, there was a couple of things that I didn't like, but they were very minor things. And that's not a bad thing to complain about. Yeah. Oh, and I do want to point out a former coworker and friend of mine, Frankie, was actually at TakeOver. He was right first tier up in between the ring and the entrance ramp, so he had some pretty sweet seats.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I love this TakeOver. I think every match was at least very good.
Mm-hmm. At least 4 stars.
If I had to rank them, I would probably say Ricochet Cole, tag title match, Gargano Ciampa, Sane Baszler, and then Dream EC3. If I had to rank them,
I would say the same. Maybe switch tag team and Ciampa, Gargano.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's interchangeable.
Just how about this? First is Adam Cole and Ricochet. Tied are those 2 matches. Yeah. And then the rest from there.
I don't know what emoji that is, but thank you, Big Stupid, for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bit cheer.
And I love his bit of what of copying Paul Heyman with
well,
the best part of SummerSlam.
We're not done announcing who, like, going through all the predictions and everything, so he's going to have to wait for us to make that call out on that cheer bit.
But I still love that reference.
Mm-hmm. Cam says his takeover is almost as good as the takeover from Mania this year, which was his favorite takeover ever. So, yeah.
I still think my favorite takeover may be, and this is going back a while ago, can't remember the name of it. I think it was like Takeover Respect or something like that. The one after Takeover Fatal 4-Way that had Kevin Owens debut and Sami Zayn versus Neville for the NXT Championship.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good show.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to SummerSlam. Before we do, I just want to mention the chat. Donuts and Drums. I saw that you reposted your question. Don't worry, we'll get to it. No need to keep reposting it in the chat. We'll get to it when we get to Orton's involvement in the SummerSlam show.
Yes. I do enjoy talking about Randy Orton. I've been a fan of him for a long time.
Yes. All right, so I actually missed the pre-show and unfortunately the first match of the night. Have not had a chance to go back and get it. What was I gonna say? Yeah, because was like the busiest work week for me of the year, so I didn't have time to really go back and watch it during the week. I do know about Rollins' attire, which we'll talk about, but I'm gonna let you basically drive the conversation for the pre-show in the first match. So you go right on ahead.
Well, we'll start off with the first match that they had, which was Andrade, Cien Almas, and Zelena Vega versus Lana and Rusev. And I'm gonna ask you these questions.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think is the better athlete between Andrade and Rusev? There's no wrong answer here.
Athlete?
Yeah.
I'd probably have to say Almas.
Okay.
Though, like,
Rusev is also an amazing athlete.
Yeah, but when you talk about athletic, you all like a lot of people nowadays when they talk about the word like to describe people as athletic, they almost also more so mean aerobic, like acrobatic almost.
Let me put it this way then. And like I said, it doesn't really matter the answer to this question as much as a follow-up. Who do you think is kayfabe-wise and everything, keeping kayfabe that is, better suited as a wrestler in the ring? To step foot in the ring and compete?
I would argue either one of them. I'd say they are equal, if not almost potentially better.
That is a fine answer with me. Now, the follow-up question. What do you think, same question, but instead of Rusev and Almas, about Zelena Vega and Lana?
Zelena.
Okay, so the main issue I had with this match was the fact that the majority of the match was Andrade beating down on Rusev and everything, and then making it seem as though Lana is going to get the hot tag and win the match for them because Lana is better than Zelena Vega. That's the angle they were playing the entire match.
Was that what the commentators were saying?
Pretty much, yeah. They just kept going on about how Rusev needs to tag Lana and then Lana will destroy Zelena.
I don't know about that. Maybe if Rusev was in peril, it's more that Lana's the fresher person, so they need to try and get that hot tag in.
They kept going on about how Zelena is scared of Lana.
Well, I think Lana, didn't she win? Or no, she lost her matches versus Zelena. But I mean, I don't know. Like, that's more of them trying to tell a story.
But they didn't do a good job of it.
Yeah, well, you know, when technically they actually did, because Zelena won her last two matches by unfair means to Lana. She, like, Andrade had to get involved, and Aiden English tried to help and didn't, and she lost.
Yeah.
So, like, from what they're saying, yes, it does make sense because Zelena hasn't won clean and proven that she's better than Lana, and that every match they've had with each other, she's needed the help of Andrade to win.
Yeah. But it was just a match. The stuff between Rusev and Andrade was pretty good. But other than that, it wasn't a great match. And Andrade and Zelena went over with Zelena pinning Lana and at the last, like with the third count, getting her feet up on the middle rope. And that was basically it. Lana had a look of like, oh, I can't believe that happened. While Andrade and Zelena celebrated and everything, and it was there.
It was what you expected. I will say though, the The angle definitely got picked up a notch after SmackDown.
Yeah. Now, the next match is one of two big issues that I had with this show.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulick. With Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher.
Fanboy, and you're upset that Gulick didn't win.
No. I'm also a fan of Cedric, and I don't mind that Cedric won.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way he won that bothered me.
Okay, how did he win then?
It was roll up after roll up after roll up after roll up after roll up, and then one roll up, Gulick didn't happen to get out in time.
That's perfect booking. That shows that they're equals.
If it was done the right way, it just looked really sloppy because they were having a hard time getting each other into these moves, and then it looked like the way it was done looked like Gulick was supposed to have kicked out, but the referee accidentally did the 3 count before it was just very awkward looking.
That's kind of the point. If you want Cedric to win, Gulick has to kick out as soon, but you want Gulick to look strong. He has to kick out a split second after that third hand hits the ground, and it makes it look like almost it was.
But what I'm saying is it wasn't even like a, oh my God, what a shock. It was like even their reaction was kind of like a, okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. Like it looked like, it was just very awkward the way it went. The match was great up until that point. They were
probably both just trying to sell surprise of the fact that Cedric got him.
But it was more confusion than surprise. Like I said, it was a good match up until then. It was just weird.
It makes sense for Gulick to be confused because he would be confused about the fact that he just lost.
Yeah, but Cedric too?
I haven't seen the match, so I can't look. I can't say that from my point of view, that's what they look like.
Yeah. But I mean, it was just kind of an awkward finish to the match, and yeah. See, Cam says it was a bit of a dodgy finish. Good match up until that. I would have preferred Gulick to win, but I mean, Cedric's a good champion. I'm not gonna argue with Cedric retaining the title. Yeah. But then the following match, the B Team versus the Revival. It was an okay match. I loved the beginning of the match.
Guess what? FTR.
I agree. Forever the Revival.
Nope.
But going on.
Big Stupid with another 5-bit cheer with the Gutex PogChamp emote. Saying, thank you for the bit cheer, saying, getting to see DMurph's soul die a little, having to say the Revival lost again is great. Hashtag Revival Mark, hashtag Revival sucks.
It just bothered me so much because the Revival, like the match started off with, oh, hey, we attack Bo Dallas quickly, and then all of a sudden Shatter Machine out of nowhere to Curtis Axel, and now Curtis Axel is out for more than half of the match, just lying on the ground, and the Revival doing work on Bo Dallas and showing that they are the better tag team. And then the finish was Scott Dawson rolling up Curtis Axel in a school, or not in a school bike, but in a small package. And then the referee was distracted for like a full 6 seconds of Scott Dawson, or of Dash Wilder and Bo Dallas literally just grappling on the ropes. And then Dash Wilder does a top rope, I forget the name, but basically guillotine to Bo Dallas, and that causes Bo Dallas to stumble backwards, trip over the two of them, which was enough to shift the pin over so that way Dawson was being pinned by Curtis Axel, and the referee counted the 3, and then they were celebrating. That's
perfect storytelling because the entire...
I'm not saying it's not perfect storytelling. I'm saying it bothered me.
Yeah, well, you have no right to be bothered because just because your favorite team lost, but it fits the story perfectly.
You see, that's what's wrong with wrestling. I have the right to be bothered if I want to be because I'm watching a product and I can feel however I want to feel about a product.
You sound like a lot of people who like to boo the current Universal Champion.
Well, I don't boo the current Universal Champion, but I have a right to feel what I want to feel.
It's still real to you, damn it.
Exactly.
But anyway, from a level-headed perspective, who isn't a complete mark for one of the teams
from
involved.
A level-headed perspective that didn't even watch the match.
Yeah, no, the finish was from. I knew what the finishes were just because I didn't watch the match. I didn't do my research on how the matches ended. It fits the storyline perfectly because everything the Revival has been saying is that the B team only gets lucky when they win. And when the B team has their tag title matches, they win because they get lucky. So what happened? They won by getting lucky. And it was via a quick little, like you said, like a roll-up leverage pin. It's not like they got knocked out and it kept the Revival looking strong. It kept the story going exactly how it has been going with the B team. It's perfect booking. There's two ways that match could have ended. The Revival destroys the B team,
which is how it should have been,
or the B team gets lucky. And the B team got lucky, and they also got destroyed for most of the match. So you kind of almost combined the two into one.
Yeah. But I do have to point out, I still love the fact that it was, as Cam's pointing out, the Revival still came across as a good tag team because, like you said,
that's how the B team works.
Yeah, but it still just bothers me so much.
It bothers you because your favorite team is yet to hold the tag championships.
And that's true. It's okay for that to bother me. But yeah, that was basically the pre-show. It was but yeah, the matches in general were all right. They just all had some kind of issue with it. Like, I mean, as it shows, the tag title match was only a little over 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
So, but whatever. Rival will get it at some point.
Yeah. And then the first match of the main SummerSlam show, which I hear was probably the match of the night.
Oh, yeah.
Was Seth Rollins with Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler with Drew McIntyre, in which Seth Rollins was victorious and reclaimed his Intercontinental Championship after a dirty deeds from Dean Ambrose to Drew McIntyre on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was dirty deeds to Drew McIntyre, and then Ziggler went to hit Seth Rollins with a super kick, but Seth Rollins super kicked him before he could do that to him, and then hit him with the Kingslayer stomp and pinned him to win the title.
So, and then also Rollins' gear.
Yeah, his whole Thanos.
Came out as Thanos with not the Infinity Gauntlet, but the Infinity Boot.
Yeah.
Loved it. Which is his curb stomp boot.
Yeah, which is what he used to win the title. So, hey, it was awesome. And I love seeing basically what looks like post-prison Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Because he's got his head shaved, and he's not
super
a lot more,
jacked.
but he's now a good amount jacked, and it just works so good.
Chelsea's having trouble watching us. I don't know if that's an internet problem. That sucks. Dozen drums. We can touch on that, I guess, a little bit now, but maybe more so later. He thinks the Shield is overdone. He was a big Evolution fan when they brought them back, and it hurt his heart when Evolution just got squashed by the Shield. I wouldn't say they got squashed though, because like they did have those epic matches.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, they had the elimination match and the Shield didn't lose a single guy.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, it wasn't really a full Shield reunion because, I mean, you didn't get Batista, you got Blue-tista. So it wasn't a real full reunion.
And then Nature Boy Ric Flair also turned his back on them.
Yeah.
By not supporting them. But like that was more like I don't think that was as much of a squash as more of a passing of the torch to the next generation type thing. It would have been, it's the same thing as if the NWO was around when Evolution was around.
Yeah.
And I mean, probably would never happen because Hogan's ego would never allow it, but it would be as if the NWO lost to Evolution. And then like the next thing would be like, maybe if in like 5 or 10 years, the Shield loses to Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's more of like a passing of the torch kind of thing than like a squash type of thing.
Which now, thank you for bringing up an idea for a match that I would really love to see of Undisputed Era versus The Shield.
Yeah. Fantasy booking.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
God, that would be good.
Cam says that he's glad Dean didn't turn on Seth because he thinks all of them together can be an interesting story. Which, yep, now that we know what's going on after Raw, I'm glad that I was wrong and that Dean didn't turn on Seth.
I'm excited for the story of Dean trying to drop weights. That way he could go after the Cruiserweight Championship.
Anyway, the next match was the SmackDown Tag Title match, the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers. And big props to the New Day for their attire as well. They were killing it with their attire. If you didn't catch it, by the rings by the gold rings on the legs of Kofi Kingston's tights. They were dressed up as Kofi as Sonic, Xavier Woods as Tails, and Big E as Knuckles.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was great.
I love that they keep doing these theme things for SummerSlam and stuff.
Yeah, the match itself wasn't that great, though I get what they were doing from a story standpoint. It seemed like the New Day was bringing it to Bludgeon Brothers. It was a very even match, and the Bludgeon Brothers finally realized, well, this is a team that we can't dominate, so get the hammers.
Yep.
And use the hammers basically to preserve their tag team titles.
Yep. It was a good match up until then.
So, nothing...
It seemed like that's something that happened a lot on, like, this show.
Yeah.
Just like, oh no, quick, DQ,
mm-hmm.
quick.
Yeah, like, maybe this is something that should have maybe happened more on a SmackDown than on a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where maybe, like, this happened to SmackDown before, and now you're like, oh, well, the Bludgeon Brothers have shown weakness. Can the New Day beat them? Like...
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to at your bigger show.
But, yeah. It was a thing. It wasn't as good as I was hoping it would be, but it served its purpose. It told the story. It did its job. Yes! So, ooh, we got a new follower, by the way. Hold on. Yes! Bring that up. Donuts and Drums finally gave us the follow. Yes. Thank you so much for the follow, my man. We appreciate it. Let's see. Next match has... Every time I open up this browser... Yeah, it just automatically scrolls up even if I was in the right place. The next match we had was Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens.
You missed this entire match. I loved it.
What was I do? Oh yeah, I was upstairs like saying hi to your kids when this match went on. R.I.P. in peace, Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I feel bad for Kevin Owens. But that match was so good because it was basically like the idea that it seemed to have was Kevin Owens was like, all right, I gotta formulate a plan of how to beat him, and oh god, and just getting run over and over again by Braun Strowman. I mean,
it's good to build up Braun Strowman. It just, especially now that we know what's gonna happen, it just sucks to see like Kevin Owens be the victim because I love Kevin Owens and I don't want him to look like weak to people like Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
But I think this is mostly just to serve the purpose of Strowman as just this ridiculous monster,
and still give Kevin Owens a spot on SummerSlam.
Yeah. Cam was okay with how the match turned out. Like, I didn't entirely like it, but in retrospect, I'm okay with it. So what you call it? Where did Big Stupid say? He said this was such a waste. I tried to defend them working together. But after that, what a waste.
Kevin Owens sold his ass off and made Braun Strowman look like gold.
Yeah, that's true. Hi to Hugo Gonsalves in the chat. Cam says, I don't think that is that bad for Owens, because if you remember the start of Strowman's big push, he was doing the same thing to Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Sami also beat Braun Strowman by the skin of his teeth when he was still a face.
True.
So...
But now Braun
still,
Strowman's a face.
Yeah, Sami still looks strong, so yeah, I guess. By lasting 10 minutes. Well, no, he also won a match on Raw, I think, by surprise pinning him once or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. There was one other thing I think I wanted to say. Just back to the tag title match. Big Stupid said that he thinks the reason why that ended in the DQ finish was also because Rowan got hurt. I think they would have gone through the whole match because they had the whole match on SmackDown.
Yeah,
with Rowan hurt. So I don't know about that.
Yeah, if it was because he was hurt, then they wouldn't have had the match on SmackDown.
Yeah. And they might have called an audible in the ring and let the New Day win.
Yeah, exactly.
Next match was Carmella versus Becky versus Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the finish.
It was a good finish, yeah.
And I loved what happened after the fact.
Yes.
The match itself was okay.
Everyone was waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
The match was all right. They had a lot of good triple threat moments that you get to see in triple threat matches.
And I loved that Becky had the match won
with
the armbar. And then Charlotte, who basically butted in and mucked this whole thing up in the first place, is the one who went and hit her finisher out of nowhere, crept in and snuck and took the pin and the win and covered Becky.
Yeah.
Stole the spot in the match and then stole the title right out from under Becky's nose.
Yep. Did you well, we could get into it later, but what happened with them on SmackDown and then what Becky Lynch tweeted afterwards?
I saw what happened with them on SmackDown. I didn't see what Becky Lynch tweeted, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
We get to SmackDown. Then we had Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. I friggin' love this match.
Really good match.
I love this angle so much. We got this right because of unintended consequences. We both thought Joe was going to win the title tonight. But holy hell, what an ending. Like, the match itself was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the way that it ended with Joe, like, beating the hell out of Styles and then getting on the announce table and saying, "But if you want, I'll be your daddy."
Yeah.
And then AJ just snapping
Mm-hmm.
and going nuts on Joe.
And the one thing I have to say about it is I am excited for their rematch at Hell in a Cell, where it's going to be not only the WWE title, but custody of AJ Styles' kids ladder match.
Where Wendy runs out too early and screws up the whole thing.
Yep.
And then AJ yells at Wendy.
Yep, exactly. Oh, God.
Oh, boy. We made a callback on something.
Mm-hmm. That was a deep cut.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a good match. I liked the way it ended. It's good all over.
Yeah, pretty short, sweet, simple description.
10 out of 10 would watch again.
Yeah. Just doubling back to the SmackDown Women's title match real quick, Cam said that he is not a fan of the turn with Becky because you have a natural heel as a babyface, and natural babyface is now a heel. Yeah, but is Becky really a heel right now? Because she was cheered and everything she was saying on SmackDown, the promo was justified and was getting cheered. So, like...
Yeah, they could easily do it where, it seems like Becky's doing the heel turn now, but it could be easily turned to Charlotte being the one who turns, being like, "You don't deserve it, blah, blah, blah. I'm the one who did all this work to get here. Get out of my way, blah, 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 blah."
And Becky's also never had much of a chance to be a heel yet, so I'd say give her a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I will bring up everybody's picks later, Big Stupid. Cam also saying on the WWE Championship match, he thinks that this match is caused will be the first Hell in a Cell that deserves to be in Hell in a Cell for a while. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. It's such a personal, bitter feud right now.
Yeah.
Rivalry. But let's move on because we've still got like quite a few matches to get through. Daniel Bryan and The Miz. Miz won. Pretty much as what I expected out of that match.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I'm upset with that match is the fact that Miz had to resort to stealing William Regal's finisher.
Yep. Them
Power
brass
of the punch.
knucks. Power of the punch.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved it. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Basically, Maurice helped, gave Miz the brass knucks, and exactly what we thought was going to happen. Like, Miz is going to win, but he can't win in a true wrestling sense, so he's going to do something underhanded, and he's going to win the match.
Yeah, there's only one thing that I'm a little terrified of now, which is I think they're going to lead to do a mixed tag match.
They are. That's what happened on SmackDown.
Yeah, I just want to see a one-on-one match.
Well, no, you want to drag this out. You want to draw this out for the rematch. So this is a good way to like continue to build the story while waiting until later to have the rematch. We'll get the one-on-one rematch.
You know what they should do? They should do mixed tag team Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah. God. No, please no. I don't say that as like I think the match would be awful. Just like I would be concerned for all people involved.
Same, yeah.
Let's see. Cam says that he thought that the match actually went on too long. It was a little long, but I didn't mind it too much.
It was a little longer than the WWE title match.
Mm-hmm. Apparently there's some breaking news that we'll get to it later. When we're done with the preview, when we're done with the review and we get into the wrestling news section.
Mm-hmm.
Big Stupid, give us some more details on that if you do, so we can talk about it later. Then we're moving on to Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin, and I was an idiot who thought Baron Corbin was gonna win because they didn't reveal that the demon was gonna happen. And then the second that demon music hit, I'm like, well, I guess we know what's happening now.
Yep.
Get ready to get destroyed, Baron.
Yep.
or Constable Corbin, I'm sorry. The Constable got destroyed. And that was some pretty cool face paint from Balor. He had like the massive tongue coming out with the open jaw on his chest and everything. But that was just... Here I thought it was going to be a long, drawn-out match. Finn's just like, no, I'm going to be the demon, and I'm just going to destroy you.
You know why they did that, right?
Because he hasn't been the demon in a while, and they want to sell merch?
Well, not only that, but they also wanted to give something for the crowd to pop to, so that way the crowd wouldn't die.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, I think it was around this time, or maybe it was earlier, we also had that Elias segment. Which was like, the hell was that?
And he broke his guitar.
His guitar broke. I think that was just fans need something to go on while they're going to the bathroom, or need something to breathe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Need a chance to breathe from this long ass show. So
well,
that was the thing.
It would happen. I enjoyed seeing basically Finn Demon Balor does the hits. Where it was just basically him hitting all of his signatures and then his finisher on Baron Corbin.
That's it. Cam, I think, also agreed that Balor's paint looked awesome. Chelsea was shocked when the Demon music hit. She thought Demon Balor wasn't going to be there. Nobody thought Demon Balor was going to be there. And once that music hit, everybody was like, oh, no, everybody look out.
Including Baron Corbin, who just started saying, this isn't fair.
Yeah.
Which I love stuff like that, because you think about it, this is supposed to be like a storyline of people in an actual wrestling environment, and it's not, and it's a guy, this isn't fair. You're still fighting the same person. Yeah, but now he has paint on his face, so it's not fair.
He has a demon personified, possessed within him. It's almost like, oh, what is that? What's the movie? It's the movie or the video game where I think it's a movie.
No Country for Old Men.
Oh no, it's from one of the Pirates of the Caribbean. It's from Pirates of the Caribbean. Remember the scene where they're fighting in the cave, and Will Turner puts the bomb on the guy as he's a skeleton and pushes them all back as they're locked in, and the guy just looks up and goes, "Not fair." Boom. That's pretty much what happened to Constable Corbin.
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
But it was funny. It was good. It was entertaining. It made the match a match that not a lot of people were looking forward to a lot more entertaining.
Yeah.
Up next was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
U.S. Championship match. And Shinsuke won because Jeff Hardy is dumb.
Mm-hmm. I do love, though, there was the one part where Nakamura went to hit the low blow on Jeff and he just caught it. I did like that. And I also did like that afterwards, Jim Ross tweeted being like, I love Jeff Hardy, but I hate when he does stupid things like that. It makes me scared for his safety.
Yeah. It's like, Jeff, you are 40 years old.
Yeah.
Stop. For the love of God, please stop. We are concerned about your health.
We're not at that point medically yet where we could just generate replaceable body parts.
Especially spine, like bones in your spine.
Yeah.
Parts of your spine, like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, it was that match was okay. It is what it was. The crowd wasn't super into it, but it was also because, they were just exhausted at this point. We were getting towards the end of the night.
Yeah, and they did just see Demon Balor.
Yeah. So, yeah. Chelsea doesn't think that Nakamura deserves the title. Don't know why. I think he's fine with it. I like his character.
Same.
Cam says, you don't need to do a swanton on the apron, Jeff. You have talked about being painful doing it normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, please stop, Jeff. We love you.
Yeah.
We care about you. Please.
You know what I think happened? I think Nakamura and Jeff Hardy were sitting in the back watching TakeOver from the night before and just was like, hey, let's do that spot that Velveteen and EC3 did, but if EC3 moved.
Yeah. Pretty much. And then after the match, this is what you missed out. Randy Orton was just being creepy, weird Randy Orton. Orton's music hit after, Nakamura left, and then Jeff Hardy stood up and he was like, yeah, I did my best. Let's give a round of applause. And then Orton's music hit. And so Jeff was standing there, and Orton walked down to the ramp and then, stopped. And it was almost like, oh, wait. I forgot a t-shirt to wear down to the ramp, and then just walked away. And then it was over.
Wait. Shit, I forgot to wear my merch. That way people realize that I have merch to buy.
Thank you for earning the E rating this week.
Gotta earn it.
And you also probably just got our YouTube video demonetized.
No problem.
Yeah. GG.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much he just walked down the ring and it was almost as if he was like, oh, I'm wearing the wrong tights. He just turned and walked away and it's like, Randy, what are you doing?
I gotta go talk to my wife about how she packs my clothes. I told you, the SummerSlam tights. Not the Survivor Series. I know they're both double S's. You gotta get it right, honey.
Mm-hmm. So it was really weird. Whatnot. And while we're now talking about Randy, I want to get to Donuts and Drums' question. He said, yeah, so I'm a huge Orton fan. Been one since they got him over versus Undertaker in 2002 as a rookie. Wow, that was like 16 years ago. Do y'all feel like he's soon to retire? I feel like falling to the mid card for him is a sign. I think I don't know if he's gonna retire soon, but he's definitely in the twilight of his
Career.
not the twilight of his career, but the twilight of his appearing every week, being a normal character.
Yeah.
Every year. I don't know if his personality, if his like persona, or like he gets in an angle that catches fire, he might capture a world championship again. But I don't think we're gonna see him in the main event again.
I think we might see him in some kind of, not necessarily the main event, but main event type match capacity,
or in
down the line,
or in like a multi-man for a title. But like I don't think he's gonna have that one-on-one marquee championship match again unless something.
Well, I'm not
some
even
spark goes
marquee match. I'm saying I could see something down the line where it's like, all right, we need a good match. Okay, how about we do like, I don't know, Samoa Joe or AJ Styles or something like that against a returning Randy Orton who's come back to put him in his place, or like you know what, they're doing like this whole thing for the Super Slam Down or whatever they're calling it in Australia, and they're having Triple H versus The Undertaker. I could see them being like, all right, for this special event, we're doing Randy Orton versus Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him being in like a more main event spotlight, like type match for like WrestleManias and stuff like that down the line, but I don't think he's getting the main event push anymore.
I think he's winding down almost kind of like the way that John Cena has wound down over the last couple of years, where it's like he'll go into the mid card, maybe hold the championship and have some good rivalries. He'll still be in marquee matches. Maybe he'll still have a really good championship rivalry. Maybe he'll win one more time.
He'll be a big part of Survivor Series.
Yeah,
matches.
he'll still be a big part of like the Big Four or like WrestleMania or whatnot. But I think they're just winding him down.
Yeah,
I think they're winding down him being in the main event all the time, him being a big player, and him being involved with the main championship all the time.
Yeah.
So in short, I would say he's not soon to retire, but I think his significance as a main roster staple is pretty much almost done.
Yeah.
I think he will have maybe one or two more championship reigns or big championship matches like that, and then I think that's it. I think he'll be if you want to say mid-card, I would say he's going to be more in an upper mid-card spot where like you can always count on him to have a big main event feel like marquee match at like Big Four events or whatnot. Yeah, and he'll be involved, and he might be involved in like the United States Championship and might get involved in the main title, but he's not going to be like constantly involved in the biggest storyline of the shows every week.
But I mean, like an example of one thing I was saying is they're building up a feud to do what seems to me like a big match between Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. And you're telling me that even in this day and age, you hear someone say, oh yeah, they're going to have a nice big match at the pay-per-view between Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy, that you're going to be like, nah, I'm good? Like, when have Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy had a match that people didn't like? You know,
Randy Orton? When was the last time he had a match that you didn't like?
No, I'm saying when's the last time you see, like, they're, like I was saying, like, they're going to put him in main event type matches, like, they're going to put Randy Orton, person who's basically a guaranteed Hall of Famer, and they're going to put him up against Jeff Hardy, who's basically a guaranteed Hall of Famer, in a match together. Every time they've had a match before, people have loved it. You really think that people aren't going to tune in to watch this if it's more of not with a title on the line, but just their bad blood over the years? That's just a sign of I don't think he's going to be done yet. That he might be winding down, but he's definitely not done yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm sorry, Donuts and Drums, that like you might be a little bummed out that he's winding down, but it's age. It gets to everybody. It's just how it happens. He's in that stage in his career.
He's transformed from the legend killer to the legend.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that like we're not gonna see good Randy Orton matches ever again.
Yeah,
like, we're still gonna get good Randy Orton matches and good Randy Orton programs.
Just not as frequently.
He's just again that stage where he's got to put new talent over and have good big marquee matches.
Yeah,
and maybe he's got another run or two in him or not. It's just time.
It's how the cookie crumbles.
Let's see. Cam says, I'm not a fan of Randy's work ethic because you can really tell when he's in a feud that he doesn't like instead of trying and everything. I kind of feel that.
Yeah.
I understand that. There is some times where it's like Randy's heart doesn't seem in it and he just doesn't seem like he wants to be professional about it.
Yeah.
But,
there are other times where he's doing an amazing job.
Yeah. When he's into it, he's bar none one. Like right now with Jeff Hardy, like I love what he's doing right now with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome. Cam said, Donuts and Drums said to Cam, like he's also been wrestling for 20 plus years. But yeah, I mean, you can kind of agree with that, but and to be fair, like he's not the only person to do this. Look at Shawn Michaels when he had to wrestle Hogan.
Yeah.
And Hogan put the kibosh on them 50-50 booking it.
Yeah.
And he just decided, okay, I'm going to bump like an a-hole.
I need to go back and watch that. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good fun.
Yeah. Let's see. Cam also said it's not being tired. It's how he acts when he's in a rivalry he doesn't like. You can tell whether he likes what he's doing or not by his attitude on camera, I guess. Yeah.
I like Big Stupid's response of, yeah, let's have another Orton Mahal feud.
Yeah. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
5 stars. Yeah. I can't blame Randy Orton for not, if he wasn't involved in that, like if he didn't want to be involved and didn't care about that rivalry.
Look out, Mahal. There's a whisper in the wind that's going to miss you.
Back bump it.
And that's
Pretend
why
that it
he
hit
wasn't on SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. Dozen Drum says, I think Randy didn't adapt well to the era that is WWE now. He was a lot more into it back with the PG-13 era. I guess so. He can still go though.
Yeah.
It's just
we're starting to go off on a bit of a tangent.
Yeah, we've talked about Randy Orton enough. We still got a lot to do, so let's move on. Then we got Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss, which was, I feel like a lot of these matches were just almost kind of like squash matches. Very short. Yep. The one person destroyed the other, match over, and this was another one. But I was okay with this one.
Yeah.
Because Alexa Bliss, when you think about it, as great of a character as she is and as wily as she is, if Ronda Rousey gets her hands on her, she's done for.
Yeah.
The way that they're building Ronda.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
I'm just wondering who they're going to have Ronda face at Evolution. That'll be interesting because I think
it's interesting because with Raw she just beat up on Stephanie. Some people are thinking it might be Natty.
Okay, who knows? They might do her versus Stephanie. You never know. You know what match I would love to see?
I don't think so because Stephanie got her ass handed to her.
True. I would love to see Ronda Rousey versus someone like Beth Phoenix.
That'd be cool.
If they're gonna be bringing people back for this pay-per-view.
I mean, Alexa's apparently already facing Trish Stratus. What if we got Ronda versus Lita?
That would be nice too.
Or what if, because she's doing so well on Glow, they actually decided to re-sign Karma?
That would be awesome. I would love to see that too.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows?
This is just us speculating, basically. Yeah. Let's see. Cam liked the squashing because he feels like worse with both characters. Dustin Drums, I'm sorry, but being a huge fan of UFC, I can't take her character seriously. I'm always just waiting on Amanda Nunes to step out at a Raw and she get KO'd again. I don't really care that much about it. Like wrestling and the UFC are two completely different things. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, Ronda was the baddest woman on the planet. Like even with UFC, like that's
Ronda
like,
went how long before she was defeated?
It's almost like saying like I can't get excited about CM Punk ever coming back to the WWE because he got his ass handed to him in UFC. Yeah. It's like they're two different realms.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, I don't know. I think I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Big Super Star, I love the fact they gave Trish Stratus to Bliss and not Sasha, since Banks keeps running her mouth about Bliss. I don't know about that. Chelsea thinks Beth Phoenix would be a good idea. Big Super said you could turn Asuka heel and have her face Rousey, or have Baszler turn on her. You could have Baszler show up and maybe turn on her. I don't think they'll move. I think they'll keep Asuka maybe on SmackDown. I don't think they're going to move her over to Raw just to, because she would have to lose to Ronda, and Asuka can't afford another loss at this point, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
And Cam puts out a good point. Brock got beat 3 times in UFC, but look at what he did in WWE when he came back.
Exactly.
Speaking of Brock, that's actually a perfect segue into the main event. Thank God, Roman Reigns got the championship finally and got it off of Brock Lesnar, and this is over and done. We can move on to bigger and better things.
Can I point out something?
Sure.
Did you see the tweet I made yesterday?
No.
Paul Heyman tweeted out a thing about Brock Lesnar, saying that even though he's not champion anymore, that Brock Lesnar did the unthinkable in WWE and held the Universal Championship for over 500 days, and that's an amazing accomplishment. And I retweeted that, saying, when you lie on your resume and hope people don't look too closely at it. Because, he held it for over 500 days. But there were several periods where
5 title defenses over that period?
Yeah, he didn't have that many title defenses, and there were several times where he went over 100 days without defending the title, when every other champion goes at most 30 days between title defenses.
Big stupid.
So
Big stupid approved of your quote retweet. But yeah, the match itself I actually loved. It was perfect. It was great. I loved that Braun came down and he's like, I am the kind of person who is just, I'm going to tell you that when this match is over, you've got me to deal with. Yeah. I'm not just going to cash in and surprise you. So I'm going to take away that element of surprise and stabbing you in the back. And then Brock was just like, that's not happening. And then just decided to beat up on Braun. Though the one thing I will say is that Braun's taken a lot worse and gotten up a lot sooner. So I was a little surprised that he didn't still try to cash in at the end of the night. But I do love that Brock being worried about Braun is what led to Roman being able to hit a surprise spear and finally pin him and finish him.
I do want to point out, though, that I love the logic of Roman Reigns having 3 stacked finishers at the beginning of the match and Brock only having 1, and Reigns using all 3 of his finishers, and Brock wasted his 1 finisher on Braun Strowman, who wasn't even the person he needed to pin.
Yep. WWE 2K logic.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm fine with Roman winning. I'm glad Roman has the championship, especially now that what happened on Raw, which we'll get to in a second. I'm fine with the Braun thing, and thank God that Brock doesn't have the championship anymore. We can watch him do things without the championship eventually in the future. Maybe a rematch with Kurt Angle at WrestleMania from their main event back at WrestleMania 19. And then we'll actually get to see Roman do awesome, cool things with the Universal Championship. Yes. And the Universal Championship will actually be on Raw every single week.
Yes, exactly. As Roman himself said, no more part-time.
Yeah. Kind of hard to cash in when Lesnar threw the briefcase to New Jersey. He did throw it down the ramp, I guess, but it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, he got an F5, had his briefcase thrown away from him, and then beat on with a chair for a while. So he would have to get up, go back up the ramp, grab the briefcase, and come all the way back down before Roman Reigns books it.
I guess. Yeah. So that was SummerSlam.
Yep.
What did you think of the show?
I thought it was all right. There were a lot of things I enjoyed, some things I didn't enjoy so much, mostly with the pre-show, but overall I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I don't think it matched TakeOver at all.
Oh, no, it didn't.
But it was still okay. It did what it needed to do.
Yeah, like get the title off Braun.
I'd say it was an average SummerSlam. It wasn't a great SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But it had a couple good matches. A lot of the stuff made sense from a story standpoint. There was some funny stuff. Those and drums, 6 out of 10. I would actually kind of agree with that.
Yeah, maybe 7
out of 10.
Maybe. Maybe, mostly because the title is off of Brock now.
Yeah.
And I think they did it in a way where you can't really have the New York crowd boo him too much. But yeah. So, do we want to go over?
Yeah, let's go over now. We're gonna go over a couple things that happened on Raw and SmackDown this week. The big thing we're gonna talk about.
I meant go over.
No, so anyway, on Raw, what happened was, don't avert your eyes from what's going on here.
Yeah, it's just that I retained this championship, and he just doesn't want to talk about it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, yes.
We could go over the numbers in the book if you want.
Okay, I'm giving you.
Okay.
Shut up and let me talk. So DMurph by a score of, I believe it was 10-8, beat me by 2. Pretty much it was hinging on Corbin beating Bliss retaining and Corbin beating Balor, and those both turned into squash matches. The second the Demon music hit, I'm like, well, you won, congratulations. Yep. I would have stood a better chance if I wasn't so completely wrong on NXT TakeOver.
If we both weren't so
you get to retain the Predictions Championship until Hell in a Cell. So, Cam with the 100-bit cheer, thank you so much for the People's Champ. And because I am a man of my word, I will read, and Big Stupid with another cheer, but I will read this first one over again because I said I would. I got to do a lot of scrolling, so please.
And because of Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and because Paul Heyman, so.
I am now the reigning, defending heavyweight champion.
I think you missed a defending in there.
Whatever. I still loved that that's how Paul Heyman introduced Brock Lesnar, is repeating defending over and over again. And I think he did it as many times as Brock Lesnar has actually defended the title.
Yeah. And then, again, Big Stupid with another 5-bit cheer saying, defending. Yeah, you won't have it after Hell in a Cell. It's fine. It's okay. By the way, he is just like Brock Lesnar because he defends the title less than I did when I had the championship last time.
Through no fault of my own.
Yeah, No. I'm willing to bet you paid off WWE to do less.
Really? You think I could afford?
You've totally got that cash just stored away.
The guy who's not working right now.
Yep, you totally got it stored away. You're good. You're perfectly fine. So, as we look back, I actually know this in my head. You had 10 correct predictions. I had 8. If we were to give a championship, however, to a viewer, and the viewer was eligible to win this, Big Stupid would actually win because he beat both of us with 11 correct predictions on the weekend.
Good job.
And then I actually came in last because both Chelsea and I believe it was Laserscope, they made those predictions. They got 9 correct. I got 8. So, congratulations to you guys. So basically, that's another win in there for Big Stupid if we decide to do a giveaway at the end. Just a reminder to you guys, you can get involved in the viewer predictions, get your name shouted out if you beat both of us, and if you're if you're the viewer who gets the most predictions right, and or if you predict more matches correctly than myself or DMurph.
Yes.
Just go to sign up onto my Discord server. It's the Murpho Discord server. You can find it in the description of YouTube videos, on the channel page on Twitch, and in the show notes in the audio form. Join that server, click the link there, and then you can go into the Super Grapple Bros Viewers Predictions channel, make the predictions. The predictions have to be, technically Laserscope was disqualified because he didn't get his predictions in until after TakeOver. We normally reserve that you get your predictions in before the bell of the first match, but he also didn't include TakeOver Brooklyn predictions. Yeah. So also props to Laserscope for getting in late and beating me by after Brooklyn happened because I only got 1 Brooklyn prediction right.
Yep.
GG. So yeah, once the bell rings for the first match of that event, you are no longer eligible to put in your predictions. Yep. So that's why Laserscope only put in the predictions for SummerSlam. But again, Murpho Discord server, check that out. Mm-hmm. Get involved in the predictions. You might get called out.
Let's get cracking.
Yeah. So on Raw, there was this trio that got together again.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome.
Now, the trio you're talking about, is this Evolution?
No.
Is it...
It was 3MB.
I was gonna say the Dudleys with Spike coming back.
Yeah, I don't know if you realized it, but they had Slater was like, I got kids, I gotta find ways to feed them. Let's get the band back together. Drew McIntyre was like, yeah, sure.
Screw you, Ziggler.
Dolph.
I'm gonna go with a real champion.
Yeah. They opened up, they went and got Jinder, and he's like, you're all peace, love, and happiness. That kind of works with the Beatles. Come on, you can be like our Ringo. Come on. And then they went down to the ring. They pulled open the apron. They pulled Hornswoggle out.
I'm a little upset that they never went full 3MB champions in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
You had Jinder with the WWE title, which was a mistake in my opinion, but you still had him with the title. You had Drew with the NXT championship. You couldn't at least give Heath Slater a Universal title opportunity.
He's like a 5-time tag team champion.
Yeah, but he didn't hold the title at the same time as them. And I would have loved to. That would have been an amazing segment on Raw of my other guys from 3MB are holding titles right now. Brock Lesnar, I want to challenge you for the Universal title. And then just have Brock Lesnar come out and destroy Heath Slater.
Oh, at least he got his chance.
Yeah.
Hey,
with Rhino looking on like, ugh.
But you know what? Heath Slater can say that those other two that I'm aware of can't say.
He's a first-time champion.
No, he's beaten Seth Rollins in the main event of Raw.
Ah.
Yeah, forgot about that, right?
Yeah, I did.
WWE did a video with Slater, Drew, and Hornswoggle watching WLC. That's awesome.
Nice.
Anyway, no, it was the Shield that came back and surprised everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We had, I believe it was, we had Ambrose versus McIntyre, which Ambrose won, and so Rollins and Ambrose did their thing earlier on, and then Braun basically came out in the beginning and told Roman, who is going to finally give Finn Balor his chance at a championship match, which is awesome because they finally tied up that loose end. He said, it doesn't matter who wins, I'm cashing in. And the whole night, Roman was just like, yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna take on all comers. They can go ahead and try to take this championship off me. I'm not a coward. And then Braun comes down after Roman retains, and then the Shield music hits. Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
Yep.
The old school Shield. Out come Rollins and Ambrose in their riot gear, and they help Roman beat down on Strowman, and they put him through an announce table.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I am in love with this.
It is so good,
This
especially
is
with
so awesome.
How Dean looks coming back, because he looks even better as a part of the Shield now.
It's essentially almost a heel turn, but now we're basically going to get a reformed Shield that is going to be dedicated to protecting the Universal Championship and keeping it on Roman Reigns and trying to stave off Braun Strowman as he tries to go through 3 former WWE champions to win the Universal title.
I like the idea, though, that it's also not just the Universal title, because Seth is also holding the Intercontinental title. And I love the idea of the Shield being like, hey, guess what? We're here. We're the champions. We're the best. You got a problem? We'll deal with it.
Yeah. Well, Dean needs a championship in order to...
That's why I was saying he's got to make weight for 205 Live.
He's not going to after he bulked up. But you've got Seth with the Intercontinental title, Roman with the Universal, and a lot of people think that might be what leads to Dean doing his eventual heel turn on Rollins, and he'll be the one to break up the Shield because he's going to be sick of the fact that he's the one without the championship.
That's quite possible.
And he wants to basically do to Rollins what Rollins did to him. But that won't be until far down the line. People believe this is going to be the run that they wanted to do with the Shield last year before Roman got sick and then Dean got hurt.
You know what match I'm really excited to see at Hell in a Cell, though?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to see the triple threat match. Did you hear about this?
No.
They're going to do a triple threat match between Dean Ambrose, Jason Jordan, and Kurt Angle to determine who the third member of the Shield really is.
Should be Dean.
It should
Always
be.
has been Dean.
But you'll have
Dean
smiling
should destroy them.
You have smiling dad Kurt Angle there in the match.
Hello, fellow Shields. I am also a Shield.
Exactly.
Cam says he likes how Dean's changed his wrestling to be like less wacky. I like it too. It's more
Yeah.
Smash Mouth.
Exactly.
Kind of,
Which
which I
is
like.
how Dean operates best.
Yeah. And Laserscope said they should go for the tag titles at the same time. Screw it. I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give them all the Raw titles. All of them.
You know what? Not only are we going for the tag titles, but you know what? R-Truth gave me an idea.
No!
Rhonda,
No.
get out here.
No.
We're doing this.
Unless they recruited Rhonda into the Shield and Rhonda became a 4th member of the Shield.
That'd be interesting.
Do it. Book it. Book it. You don't even have to charge me. Just book it. Just do it.
You know what, guys? I hear there's this guy down in NXT that doesn't have a challenger. Choppa, I'm coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
Just have them go after every title. I know NXT UK hasn't started yet, but I'm going after the NXT UK Tag Team Champions. They're not crowned yet, but we're going.
We don't even know if they officially exist, but we're going for them. Dunson Drum says he doesn't like the Shield that much. However, he does love how Dean has changed. He likes the new look Gene, and he does kind of wish that Rollins was a big heel. I don't know. Rollins can be great as a face and a heel. So and I'm sure he'll get another good heel run in eventually. So I'm not worried. I'm just enjoying what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Cam says he wants Dean to turn on Roman rather than Rollins. I think that Roman needs a good rivalry more. That's true.
Braun Strowman.
I mean, honestly, Dean and Seth, they're like in real life, their favorite people to work are each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they just have that natural chemistry and they've got a great history. But who knows? It could add another wrinkle if Dean actually turns on Roman, goes for the Universal Championship. I'd love to see Dean get another main title run.
I'd love
to see Seth get another main title run.
I'd love to see a triple threat match where both the Universal and Intercontinental Championships are on the line.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
And Chelsea on the judgment of honorary Shield members, Jason Jordan, no. Kurt Angle, yes.
Oh, Jason Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
God.
And then Donuts Dream says, yeah, he thinks that would be Dean would be a sick heel push, which, yeah, I think it would be good.
It would be amazing.
Other stuff that happened on Raw, we got the Ronda beating up Stephanie after Stephanie tried to make her like almost like a villain to the rest of the women's division on Raw, and Ronda was more like, no, I love all of you. We are all great. Yay. And Natty's cool too, and it's maybe kind of teasing a Natty thing. Maybe Steph will make some sort of announcement for Hell in a Cell.
Mm.
I'm trying to think. Was there anything else that pops out of your mind that happened on Raw this week?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, we had the Balor stuff, which was awesome because we got Balor in the main event.
I hear that thanks to Stephanie McMahon, she's apparently forcing Kurt Angle to take some time off. So next week, Raw will be completely run by Constable Corbin.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I know I'm hoping, as well as some other people, word has it, since they've been very buddy-buddy on Twitter, that Corbin may be giving the Revival another tag team opportunity.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all from Raw. Moving on to SmackDown. SmackDown was also equally awesome.
Mm-hmm.
First, New Day won the tag titles. Awesome. 5-time tag champs. Well deserved. Unfortunately, came off of a Rowan injury, but it feels like they were building towards the New Day overcoming the Bludgeon Brothers eventually.
Yeah.
Just hopefully Harper doesn't get lost in the shuffle again, and maybe they can give him a good singles push.
Yeah, maybe they could have him go
title
after the U.S. title or the WWE title or something.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's awesome. Well deserved. I am always for the New Day winning the tag titles and holding the tag titles and going on to bigger and better things.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to see them, though, eventually start staying together as a group, but going after individual titles together, like winning the United States Championship. I mean, like, Woods was in the U.S. title tournament, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But, like, I want to see them, like, holding, like, maybe the United States Championship, maybe holding the WWE Championship. I would love to see a twist and turn where they enact the Freebird rule on a singles title.
I was going to say I would love to see that, too. Like, oh, you thought you were going to face me. No, you're going to be facing E tonight.
Yeah. Exactly. So, like, that's kind of what I want to see. Kem wishes it was Sanity over the New Day, but New Day are great, so you can't really complain. So he agrees.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let's see. Apparently, Big Super says not just for Raw, but for the future going forward, especially allegedly his Angle's retraining for an in-ring return. I think he'll still maintain the GM persona, but he'll just wrestle on occasion.
Yeah.
Donuts and Dreams, he's in love with Sanity. He thinks they hit the main roster way too early. I kind of agree. It wasn't such a big surprise when they came to SmackDown. I kind of agree with that. Like, I feel like, or when they did come, they should have been treated as more of a threat.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe now that Bludgeon Brothers are no longer a thing, Due to the Rowan's injury and New Day are the tag champs, they have that history of Sanity. Maybe Sanity will now become the big bad heel tag team unit on SmackDown, so we can get some really good New Day Sanity stuff going, and maybe Sanity can start stringing some wins together.
Now that the titles are off of the Bludgeon Brothers, and I hate to say it, now that Rowan's injured, this tag title future for SmackDown is looking bright because you got New Day as the champions. And who do you have as challengers? You've got Sanity.
The Usos.
You've got the Usos. You've got The Bar.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, I believe, Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah, they are in SmackDown. I forgot about that.
You've got a lot of good tag teams on SmackDown.
Yeah. Other SmackDown stuff, we talked about it, I think, briefly. Becky came down to explain herself about what happened. And I loved the promo. You could almost feel the frustration and the anger. Like as if it was coming from a real place of her being frustrated that she hasn't had the championship and had her own spotlight as one of the 4 horsewomen really yet, even though she has been she was the first, if I remember correctly, SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah.
And then Charlotte came out and they just brawled, which was awesome.
Yeah. One thing that I mentioned before, the tweet on Twitter that Becky Lynch did, she shared a GIF of Charlotte being like, "This. For this, you gave up this for this," and throws it to the ground. And Becky tweeted that being like, "You're damn right I'm doing this for this. This has been my entire goal. While you were going to college, I was over in Japan busting my ass."
It got real. She went there.
Yeah, and she just listed everything she's been doing while basically Charlotte has been coasting to steal her spotlight, how she's been busting her ass for 15 years. For this. So yeah, you're damn right I'm coming for this, and this is more important.
Yeah. So yeah, all good things. Like that's gonna be good. The tag situation is looking bright. And then holy hell, Samoa Joe might be the best promo worker in WWE, if not all of wrestling right now.
Oh yeah.
Holy hell, as Big Stupid said, Daddy's going night-night. Holy crap. I saw that promo and I was like, give him the goddamn championship. Put that on his waist. You don't even need to have the match. Put that championship around that man's waist. He deserves it.
And this is exactly what I was saying. I had a feeling that because of all the titles that would probably be changing at SummerSlam, that AJ was going to retain, but they were going to have a rematch, and that Joe was going to take the title
But
down.
to be fair, like, it was the right move at SummerSlam because it got him pissed off and motivated to have this kind of promo, and it allowed AJ to snap and show some veracity. And now we're going to have this bitter, just hard-hitting, destroying each other.
We're going to have a fight.
Yeah. And it's like, I believe it was Cam was saying in the chat, we're going to have a Hell in a Cell match that feels like it is worthy of that stipulation.
Yep.
Like, oh my God, it was so good. Just AJ speaking from a place of pure anger about Joe, and then Joe coming out and choking the life out of him, grabbing the camera, getting a microphone, getting in the camera's face, and just talking to Wendy and talking to his kids, and then saying, you know, Daddy's not coming home this week. He's not going to be able to put you to bed because right now Daddy's going night-night.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This rivalry, it's so good. This is like the best thing going on in wrestling right now. I love it. I love it. Exactly what Donuts and Dreams said. You could feel the passion from both of them in the promo. And when both guys have that intense, insane, fiery passion going on in the promo, that's what sells it. That is why Gargano and Ciampa has been so good for the last 6 months.
Yep.
Is that kind of passion.
Exactly. But yeah.
That's me raving about the Joe promo, which was probably one of my next to maybe it's probably my favorite thing that happened this week. Next to maybe the Raw reuniting of the Shield and like some of the matches on TakeOver.
Yeah. So good.
Okay. I'm kind of I used up a lot of energy to talk about that. NXT, not too much happened. There was just a pair of matches and we got a recap of TakeOver. It's that standard, like, we're going to take the pre-show from TakeOver and put it on to package it together as a taped NXT show.
One thing I'm going to point out quickly is the whole up down thing.
Well, let's get to that after we talk about. Let's get through NXT. Talk on NXT real quick. Talk on 205 real quick, and then we can move on to that. So Any other things on NXT you wanted to mention?
I didn't get to watch it in full, but I'm excited to go back and watch the match between Pete Dunne and Zach Gibson in full because goddamn do I love Pete Dunne. He is very good.
Yes, very, very good. 205 Live. Looks like Gulick and Alexander might not be done, even though Drake Maverick said that Gulick won't be getting a rematch. They had a nice little heated promo. And then we just had a couple of matches that really I don't think
they looked good.
They were part of stories, but we didn't really see any like major developments in those storylines really.
Well, the main stories have been that there's been a feud between TJP and Noam Dar about Noam Dar's return and how TJP keeps saying that he's the best that 205 Live has to offer him because of the fact that Drake Maverick wasn't doing anything with him. He was going to go to another brand, and now it's about trying to prove that he's better than him. And Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese have formed a friendship, and they're trying to prove that they're a better tag team than Lucha House Party. Mm-hmm. And that's basically it.
Yeah. Dozen Dreams want to know what's our thoughts on the return of PG-13 style era for WWE. I'm indifferent. I'm okay with the PG product right now as it is. I don't really think it needs to return to too much insanity. If we can get stuff like this Joe style stuff, and don't forget, NXT might not be on regular TV, but it's still rated PG.
Yeah.
Like all that, if we can still get NXT quality stuff and the stuff like Joe and the stuff like the Shield and the PG era, I don't really feel that like WWE has to go back to PG-13.
Exactly.
So I would be okay with it. It'd be cool, but I don't think it's really needed anymore at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, you want to touch on wrestling news since we got through all the WWE stuff?
Sure. First thing I will bring up is just very quickly, the Up Down Down received the honor for most subscribed to celebrity video gaming channel by the Guinness Book of World Records.
Really obscure record.
It's a new one that they made up.
But it's awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats to Austin. Congrats to Swag by Sean and all the staff that are still there working on Up Down Down. Was happy to be a part of it while I was with it. I was happy to like help build the foundation, and I'm glad to see that after I've been gone that they've just taken it and continued to run with it. And just Austin's at Gamescom right now. I don't know if you know that. He won the NXT tag titles on a Tuesday and then flew to Germany to do Gamescom. So like that man worked his ass off and deserves every single accomplishment he gets for both Up Down Down and in the WWE.
Fun thing I want to point out to you actually that I forgot to mention before, when I bought those t-shirts I mentioned to you, the person who I bought them from at the Hot Topic was a wrestling fan and had seen Up Down Down stuff and actually remembered seeing you on the show and said he was a fan.
Oh wait, who is this again?
Someone that was working at the Hot Topic that I bought t-shirts from.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
nice.
Yeah, there you go.
It's always nice. I actually had somebody who was working as an intern at NBC Sports who knew who I was and knew Up Down Down, and he actually had me like sit down and talk to him about like my whole career and everything. It's very cool to get like recognized every now and again.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, other stuff. I'm just trying to read up on the chat because I know there's something that Cam brought up. Neville's contract is up.
Yep.
He's no longer with WWE.
And the question on a lot of people's mind is whether or not he has the 90-day suspension from working that a lot of other people get. I'm hoping not, but that's what a lot of people are thinking. Because if not, there's a good chance that Neville may be all in. That's what a lot of people are thinking. Because apparently he's been in talk with the Young Bucks.
Yeah, well, as Neville's contract was running out, Cody Rhodes put out a tweet that was of their match with Stephen Amell and
who was also
Wade Barrett. Yeah. At from SummerSlam a few years ago and said, "I miss Neville."
Yep.
And then the Young Bucks replied saying like, "Oh, yeah, he's good. We've talked to him recently."
Yeah.
And with his contract out and All In next week, a lot of people are expecting he's either going to get announced for a match or he's going to be in a surprise member of a match for All In next weekend.
Well, one of the things that they're doing is I believe they're having a Battle Royale match in which whoever wins, I think, faces Kenny for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, or no, it's whoever wins faces Jay Lethal, I think, for
the ROH Championship.
Yeah, either the ROH Championship or the ROH TV Championship, something like that. But yeah, I know it's whoever wins that Battle Royal faces someone for a championship. I just can't remember exactly which one. And I know, like, Joey Ryan, I think, is supposed to be in it. I think Joey Janela is going to be in it. But, yeah, it would not surprise you one bit if Neville was a surprise entrant in that match.
Yeah.
So.
And then another contract / All In related news. For those, which was a SmackDown thing we forgot to bring up, actually. For those hoping to see Daniel Bryan at All In,
yeah,
don't count on it.
Apparently, he signed a contract.
Daniel Bryan has reportedly signed a new contract as of yesterday with WWE. He is going to return to WWE. He's going to stay with WWE. Apparently, it's going to be his schedule is going to be scaled back a bit so he could he can take care of his body better, and so that way he can have more time with Bree and their daughter and their dog. It also and if it wasn't an indication before, SmackDown, they challenged Miz and Maurice to a mixed tag match at Hell in a Cell, which is taking place after his old contract was going to run out. So that was an indication that maybe he had re-signed, and then yesterday news came out that he did sign a new deal, so he won't be going to All In.
Thank you, Big Super, for confirming. It is whoever wins that battle royal. It is to face Jay Lethal for the ROH title.
Jobber TV, yes. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. So yeah, Daniel Bryan sticking with WWE, which I'm fine. I am fine with. Like, it would have been cool to see him on the Indies, but I think it's best for him to stay in WWE.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy to see if he does stuff. Any word on if Bree is coming back to WWE? I'm pretty sure she is, because on SmackDown she ran down to the ring and went after Maurice, and then they challenged them to a mixed tag match. So I'm pretty sure yes, she will compete in a mixed tag match at WWE Hell in a Cell against Miz and Maurice, and I'm pretty sure she'll be involved in Evolution. Yeah. She'll be involved in some sort of match or be in a match at Evolution. I'm pretty sure Nikki will be in a match at Evolution as well. After that, I don't know. Probably not, because Brie probably wants to focus on being a mother.
Can I make a random prediction?
What's that?
Match for Evolution.
Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey?
No.
Because that's what's being rumored. Actually, I just remembered.
I am going to say I would not mind seeing Bella Twins versus Boston Hug Connection.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I could be down with that.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. What else? Was there anything else that happened this week in wrestling that we want to talk about?
Not that I can remember.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Meltzer then?
Sure.
I'll let you drive that.
Apparently, on a podcast or something, or whatever that Meltzer was doing, he was talking about Peyton Royce and saying that he preferred her when she was skinnier, and was talking about how he liked her better when she was on NXT and weighed less and everything, and everyone kind of lost their crap on him. And
apparently people were saying that it was a veiled remark towards the fact that she got breast implants.
I don't know about that, but most of what I was seeing was that he was talking about how she had gained weight, and that basically saying that she should lose the weight and that it doesn't look good on her. And a lot of people saying,
why don't you not body shame women?
Yeah, why don't you not body shame women, especially since this is the kind of thing that, affects a lot of younger women and causes people to become anorexic and bulimic and things like that. So
and good
it's really
on Peyton.
Uncool.
Peyton actually stood up for herself and spoke out to Meltzer about it on Twitter.
Oh,
and she had support of a lot of the female wrestlers too.
Yeah, Billy Kay did.
I think didn't Dolph Ziggler say something as well?
I think
a couple of the male wrestlers said stuff as well.
Buddy Murphy, I think, said something. I believe Alexa Bliss did. I think Ty Dillinger. Yeah, Ty Dillinger definitely said something, because he's also, dating Peyton Royce.
Oh, is he? That's
yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's dating Peyton Royce. I know Buddy Murphy is engaged to Alexa Bliss. A lot of relationships like that going on. But yeah, there were a lot of people that were like, who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah.
Some guy who sits around just talking about the business, and then you have the nerve to start body shaming someone out of nowhere.
That's why you got to be careful with what you say. I mean, I know for us as a podcast, you got to be careful about what you say when you're on the air, and also just don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
And don't body shame people.
Don't
call people's weight and the way that they look into question. Judge them on the caliber of what they do on the mic, and in the ring, and maybe like what they are as a person. Judge them who they are as a person by their actions. Don't judge them by their looks.
Yeah, the only thing I ever judge by looks is ring gear, and that's I like it or I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's ring gear. That can be changed.
Oh yeah, Big Stupid all said that Seth Rollins replied to Meltzer's apology because Meltzer apologized. And Rollins replied to that saying that he gave the apology a -4 stars.
I saw that, yeah.
Meltzer has since given out more apologies. Some people aren't buying it, so we'll see what happens with Meltzer going forward. Donuts and Drum says it would be different if it affected their profession in terms of not being able to perform at max level, which I mean, I guess I can kind of understand.
Yeah,
if they're really being like.
Yeah,
like getting away
what
from
happened
themselves,
with,
almost kind of like
Big Daddy V.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, where they made him take some time off because his weight was getting to the point where it was affecting his health.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like gaining a little bit extra weight.
Yeah. Go screw yourself.
Yeah, you can still go in the right, like,
yeah.
Stop it.
Oh, Paige was another person who commented about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to also, one thing that we didn't bring up last week as well, do you have any comments on Renee Young doing commentary?
Yeah. I think we did talk about it briefly, but yeah, good job, Renee.
Thumbs up. I said in the solo podcast while you were on vacation when they announced this, Renee Young needs to be the third person on commentary, either on SmackDown or Raw.
Well,
she's
part
long
of the
since
reason
deserved
that
it.
I'm excited for the Mae Young Classic because she's one of the announcers for that.
Yeah, her and Corey, because they both have a rapport because they both used to announce together at NXT.
Mm-hmm.
They're great together.
Oh, I believe it.
As a commentary duo or two parts of a trio, and I'm hoping they announce that she will be doing commentary for Evolution, and hopefully maybe she'll be doing commentary going forward.
Yeah,
she's great. And you know what? Like, if you're going to have a women's division and a women's Evolution, you should have a woman's voice on the commentary table.
Yeah.
And Renee Young is that voice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I believe that's it for the wrestling.
Okay.
So should we transition over to the video game? Yep, we're transitioning over to the video games.
Here we are with our Overwatch news that we get to do every now and then since I'm not around as often anymore, unfortunately. Where this week we not only have the Summer Games event going on in Overwatch, where they have brought back Lucio Ball as well as competitive Lucio Ball, and a bunch of skins that I think are interesting, but personally not a big fan of trying to get. But also they announced this week that, I didn't get to watch it yet, but this week on Wednesday, they released a new animated short focusing on everyone's favorite gamer, Diva.
I saw that was out. I haven't watched it yet, though.
And they also announced this week that already on the PTR and coming soon to the game is a new map for Busan, South Korea, of Diva's headquarters. So, really cool stuff. You see a lot of things like her gaming setup and trophies for winning esports tournaments and all kinds of stuff like that. And it's really cool, and I'm excited to get in there and try out that new map.
Nice.
But yeah, I have not gotten to see the short yet, but I do hope to see it soon.
Very cool.
Yeah.
In Destiny news, Destiny revealed a cinematic from Gamescom of almost the entire last stand of Cade 6.
Okay.
And it's basically him just tearing through like a bunch of Fallen.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, unlike what happens in the trailer, one of the Forsaken, which are like the big Fallen bosses of the expansion, actually shoots like his bow and arrow and destroys Cade's ghost, and then Cade gets malleted through a wall by one of the other, or not mallet, what's that weapon with it's like a wooden grip thing that you grip onto, and it's attached to a chain, and it's got the ball at the end. Mace.
A flail.
A mace or a flail, yeah. Mace is when it's attached to the end.
The flail is with the chain.
Basically a giant flail, and flails him through the wall. And then we don't see him die yet, so I'm assuming that Ultron shows up after the fact and kills him. But it was a really cool cinematic. Also, they announced there's going to be public test, or everybody will have a chance to play the new game mode Gambit, which is the PvE meets PvP mode that they're unveiling for Forsaken on September 1st. So this upcoming Saturday, everybody will have a chance to play it.
Will those people be all in?
Not related.
Same
Don't
date.
make it happen. Don't make it happen. Stop
Same
it.
Date.
Stop it.
Yeah, the only other thing I really have to talk about is the fact that I've been playing a good amount of No Man's Sky since the updates. And
yeah.
Holy hell, has that game been good. If you tried it a while ago and didn't really get into it, or you never tried it and you've been somewhat interested, I highly suggest you go and try it now, because with all these updates they've done, the game has become absolutely phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. And I'm also going to touch on this because Donuts and Drums asked if we'd cover it, and I just found this out. I believe what day? Today is the 24th or 25th?
25th.
This happened yesterday, which is unfortunate. Popular CSGO, I'm taking this straight from Polygon. I'm looking up the story now. Popular CSGO YouTuber Trevor McSkillet-Heitman killed in a car crash. Officials confirmed. 2 others were killed and another was seriously injured.
That's unfortunate.
To pull the story from Polygon. Trevor McSkillet-Heitman, a popular CSGO player and YouTube creator, is dead following a multi-car collision that occurred just outside of San Diego on Thursday afternoon. A spokesperson for the San Diego County Department of Public Safety confirmed the driver involved in the crash was Heitman. 2 people on Twitter claiming to be close friends of Heitman tweeted about his death prior to the official statement. This isn't a hoax, one friend who goes by Schnaxler tweeted. He was my best friend in real life, and I've been dealing with this pain for the past 2 hours. Everyone please spread love and support. He was battling an incredible rough time, and we need to show support. R.I.P. to McSkillet. You were truly my best friend and biggest inspiration in life. I know you were dealing with an incredibly hard time, but I know heaven will treat you well. I love you so much. Thank you for all the amazing times. Hasn't been confirmed anywhere, but he's dead, said another friend who goes by Equity with a 1 where the I is. He was my friend. We both live in SoCal, and we met through a mutual friend who knew him growing up. Will not release details on his death, but he is dead. Another friend who just remained anonymous told Polygon that Heitman began pushing people away a few months ago, adding that their friends were mourning his death. I don't know how to feel, they said. I knew him so well in middle and high school. He was a really good person, and we had a lot of great memories together. But now learning about all the tragedy he caused for the people who died, I don't know what to feel. Heitman's friends said that he was dealing with depression ahead of the crash. The crash killed Heitman, 2 others, and left another in serious condition, according to the LA Times. Representative for the California Highway Patrol told Polygon the other 2 victims in the crash were a mother and daughter. The crash was reported around 4:45 p.m. PT, and eyewitnesses told police it was caused by Heitman's car speeding down the highway in the opposite lane. The car was driving at over 100 miles per hour at the time of the crash, according to the Times. So it could be, I mean, it's not safe to assume, but the conclusion you can draw from that is that if he was in a depressed rage, he might have just been so depressed that he wanted to end it and just decided to take one of his cars and drive headfirst fast he can into another car to make sure that he died quick, but he took other lives with him.
It's unfortunate.
So it's unfortunate. So we'll try to move on from that story into other stuff. Big Stupid mentioned that the NBA Live demo is now out for those who want to watch it. In Fortnite news, the Rift is gone, and now there's a big cube. You can bounce on it, but nobody knows exactly what the cube is doing or what it will do. Also, Tomato Town is no more. It was warped away, and it's now Tomato Temple. It's like a Mayan Aztec, South American temple location. So that's that stuff. As it says right here, I've got the story actually on the YouTube stuff right here. On Polygon, the headline is Fortnite's map is being struck by lightning, and now there's a giant mystery cube. Fortnite meta story. I'm going to try to hold and read this like this. Fortnite's meta story of events and characters that impact the game's map is heating up again as the rifts in the sky have begun to spit out lightning bolts that hit the ground on the square H9 of the map. Fans now think it could all be leading to an in-game event taking place later today, which eventually, I believe, led to the cube showing up, but I'll continue reading. Players first noticed the lightning strikes yesterday with streamers witnessing a few while they were broadcasting gameplay. There was actually one streamer, one person who was streaming or recording their gameplay. They were, like, gathering material and resources, and a lightning bolt literally struck them, didn't kill them, but sent them flying so high that when they fell, they died from fall damage.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Donaldson Drum says it's gonna unveil a mini tank. Apparently, the cube, just spitballing. I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm looking to see if there were any updates at the bottom. What does the cube do? It appears to be emblazoned with a series of symbols that visibly glow when players approach it. It also slowly fills players' shields if they're close enough to it, but don't get too close or try to attack it, as it will knock players back if they touch it and strike them with a potentially fatal bolt of energy if they shoot at it. The strange symbols that appear on the cube also appear in the kill feed if the cube kills the player.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
So are you going to go on now and test not shooting or getting too close, but grenades?
Not shooting, but shooting the...
Just grenading it.
I wouldn't be surprised if the grenades bounce off the cube and then blow up in your face.
Try throwing it on top.
Nah.
You're no fun. What about driving a golf cart into it? You got to try that.
Nah. We also got new story trailers for the Assassin's Creed game based off the two main characters. Basically same trailer, but the...
Cut differently.
Yeah. It looks cool. Pretty much just breaks down with the story, like kind of the concept of the story, that Greece is in turmoil with all the warring going on, and it's up to you to try and bring Greece together and stuff like that.
Okay.
Outside of that, I can't recall. I know Gamescom is going on right now, and I'm sure there's a lot more news going on, but I can't quite recall anything else unless you can. I'm gonna try and
really
no Polygon. Yeah, the NBA Live 19 demo is available now on PS4 and Xbox One. Let's see if there's anything else here. I'm trying to see if there's anything else going on. I'm not seeing anything, so I think we are safe. Oh, one other thing for Fortnite related I forgot to bring up. Epic Games is trying to introduce two-factor authentication.
Okay.
For accounts, and so if you go ahead and you sign up for that service, you actually get an exclusive dance emote.
Oh, nice.
So go if you want to make sure that you have like another email address or a phone number hooked up to your Epic account in addition to your main email account. Do that, and you will go ahead and get a new email. Chelsea asked if the trailer was for Assassin's Creed Origins. No, it's for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is the new Assassin's Creed game that's coming out. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If we miss anything from Gamescom,
we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back next week to talk about it. We'll get more into trying more balance out the video game stuff next week, since there won't be a pay-per-view event going on. We'll be able to go more in depth with the gaming news, and we'll do some more Gamescom recap because by next week all of Gamescom will be done because there's still Gamescom, I believe, going on today and tomorrow.
Yep, there you go.
So that will do it for episode 61 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. Do not forget you can watch this podcast live on Twitch at twitch.tv/L_Murpho. You can join in the chat while you watch live. We normally traditionally go live on Thursdays. Normally late morning, early afternoon is when we stream.
You want to come again on Thursdays?
Saturdays. Why did I think Thursdays?
I don't know.
But Saturdays, traditionally, around late morning, early afternoon is when we will be live streaming. Thank you to Donuts and Drums, who's one of our newer followers. He said he enjoyed it, and he will be back. We're looking forward to seeing you back. Thanks also to Jobber TV, who also followed, and thanks to Donuts and Drums for the follow. Thanks to everybody for the bits and cheers. In addition to watching us live on twitch.tv/L_Murpho, you can also watch the VOD back in our videos section. And you can also, if you don't want to watch it back on Twitch, you can watch it on YouTube at youtube.com/LMurphoReal. Mm-hmm. You can find pretty much all of the podcasts there. Also, like old videos when I used to do YouTube gameplay. But the podcasts are there. You can watch. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. You can also listen to us in audio form if you would like, on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, and other places where podcasts are sold.
Rate, review, and subscribe.
That's his thing that he does whenever we do this sound off. The ratings and the reviews help out in Apple Podcasts, because then we become an officially rated podcast. When people search things like video games, wrestling, all that kind of stuff, will show up in the searches instead of you having to specifically search for Super Grapple Bros. So please give us a rating and review there if you can, because then we'll get more people involved and there'll be more discussion and more talking, and it'll be more fun and a bigger community. Also, again, I will harp on the fact that you should join the Discord server, the El Murpho Discord server. We are, you can find it via the channel page on Twitch, the description on each YouTube video, and in the show notes of the audio form. If you join that, you can get involved in 2 different channels on the server that are Super Grapple Bros related, which is the viewer predictions, which we talked about earlier today. We also have a questions, comments, concerns, feedback channel as well, or trivia or whatever, what have you. And then you can also reach out to us on email at supergrapplebros@gmail.com for those same purposes. And then last but not least, we always like to tweet when we go live, in addition to announcing it on the Discord server. But you already know the Discord server information. You can find us on Twitter. I am at L_Murpho.
DMurph_42.
And with all that house cleaning all done, or housekeeping all done at the end, we are going to send you off with DMurph's favorite, maybe next to the Overwatch news, favorite part of the show, and that is the Kayfabe News article of the episode.
Education crisis. 9 out of 10 Americans can't name 3 past WWE United States champions.
Dean Ambrose.
I can do it with
Randy
one word.
Orton. Orlando Jordan. There's an obscure one for you.
There you go. I could do it in one word.
What?
Shield.
Yeah. Have they all? They've all held the
all
US?
3
yes,
have held
that's
it.
right.
Yeah.
They have.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. All right, guys. That's gonna do it for episode 61. Take care. Peace out. Deuces the deucey deuce.
Bye.
Laters. Bye bye now. Bye bye.
Shut up and sit down.